All right. So, good evening, everybody. May peace and power elevation be to all of you beautiful people out there. This is your girl, Tiffany, coming through live in effect. So, if you are watching from the YouTube channel and you have not, or if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you're watching from Facebook, please make sure you share this video on Facebook. So, tonight, we're going to get into a very heartbreaking and disgusting subject. All right. Now, you guys know that I do information about scholarship, deal with daily Black history, and sometimes I might have the little debates and stuff. But tonight I also deals with miscellaneous topics too, like news story and general topics. Um, this had to be the most horrific and sadistic story I ever come across. And I cannot, for the sake of me, understand why and how and what extent and what's the purpose. Why did this individual do what they did? So let's go ahead and look at the story. All right. Here it is, a story about a mother out in Northwest Atlanta, right? This incident took place in Atlanta. It says police mother intentionally hit car, killing 3-month-old daughter, injuring child's father. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video, right? And the video is going to explain what happened. Here it goes. Okay, it's in the advertisement. All right.
Killed her child. Police arrived at the scene along Chapel Road in Northwest Atlanta. Police are questioning a woman after a crash killed her child. Police arrived at the scene along Chapel Road in Northwest Atlanta just after 7 this evening. That's where Channel 2's Audrey Washington joins us live. And Audrey, police say the father had just put his child in his car when the mother got into her car and crashed into them.
Yeah, really tragic. And, I just got to tell you, this is a tough scene to look at, but I want to show you this right here behind me, Jovita, is what's left of one of the cars involved in this deadly crash. That car, which looks to be an older model Honda sedan, was where police and fire officials found a father and his 3-month-old baby girl. The father survived. The baby girl died. The mother is now at the hospital for minor injuries. Atlanta police told us the father drove down Easton near Chapel Road when the mother intentionally slammed her SUV into the car several times. The impact caused the father to crash into a telephone pole here. Atlanta Fire and Rescue got to the scene and pulled the father and the baby from the car. The father is in stable condition at a nearby hospital. Again, that baby girl, though, did not survive. Now, what led up to all of this is still unclear, whether this was over some kind of custody battle or an attempted abduction. Police still do not know. Right now, though, homicide detectives are on scene investigating. As for the mother, she is at the hospital for minor injuries. Police did not specify what type of charges she will face in the case. Right now, though, we are live here in Northwest Atlanta. Audrey Washington, Channel 2 Action News.
Audrey, thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the incident. As you can see, the mother intentionally runs her car into the father's, trying to call herself to kill him, but she ended up killing her own child. Why? Why? And I don't want to hear an excuse about the postpartum syndrome. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that because that's what she's suffering with. I don't know. Because what makes you think in your right state of mind that it will be okay for you to run into the car which your child is in, trying to kill her father, but you end up injuring the father and you killed the baby? You guys must be careful who you sleep with. Stop just jumping in relationship with just anybody. Stop just falling for the individual because you had sex with them on the first night. Now, they didn't say why she did it. They didn't say because it was a custody battle dispute or it was the fact that it was an adoption. But I highly doubt it if it was adoption. I highly doubt that he was trying to kidnap his own child. I think it had something to do with custody battle. I think that because she didn't want to lose custody of her child, so she figured it would be the smart idea to try to kill him when she ended up killing her own baby. What type of sense does that make? Everybody, just because you got a mother and father does not always mean they are parents. And see, when you put your child in the middle of your bullshit, and I do mean in the middle of your bullshit, your child end up becoming the victim. And that's exactly what took place, because this mother had the issue with the father, or they was having some issues with each other. And it led to the result that the child ended up being in the middle of that shit. A 3-month-old child. A 3-month-old child happened to be killed because this mother emotional erratic behavior is the cause of that shit. The mother, her dysfunctional ass, thought that she was going to get away or prove a point by running into another vehicle, causing a car accident, a scene. Okay, bitch, you got the attention that you deserve, because now, bitch, you got to go to prison. Bitch, you finna be charged. So, bitch, what you gonna do now? Your daughter is dead, bitch. Your baby father is injured. Now, what you gotta say for yourself, bitch? What the fuck do you gotta say for yourself? You got to do background checks on individuals. You got to start asking questions about the people that you trying to get in a relationship with. And you ain't wrong for doing no background checks. If you got to do that, do it. If somebody have to do a background check on me, hey, by all means, do that. Do what you got to do, because at least you'd rather be safe than being sorry. Now, I cannot sit here and make excuse and make justification behind this tomfoolery ass shit, because it's a bunch of foolery. What kind of excuse can you make for a woman that's trying to kill her child's father and end up killing her own child? What excuse can you make? Or for anyone, period, vice versa. Let's read the story. I'm gonna read the story. Let's read it right here. It says, police say a mother deliberately crashed into a car carrying her baby girl shortly after her husband. Wait a minute, so hold up. This man's supposed to be her husband? So wait a minute, you try to kill your own husband. Let's continue on. After her husband picked the child up, the crash happened Monday around 7 p.m. along Eastern Street near Chappelle Road in Northwest Atlanta. And it says Channel 2 Tom Reagan spoke with a neighbor who said when they saw the crash, people rushed over to the car to rescue the trapped father and child. We were in the house when we heard a boom, said Tarajila Jones. We saw her and the car was turned up sideways against the tree and she was ramming her car into the side of the car. The neighbor said that they saw the car turned up sideways against the tree and she was steady ramming her car into the side. She was ramming her car into the side of the car. Why? 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 Let's continue. And it says, Atlanta police said Tatiana Phillips, 21, intentionally hit a car carrying her 3-month-old daughter and the child's father inside. And then they said the father had just picked up the child from the mother's house. She was screaming, I told them that I would kill him. Why? Why did you want to kill him? Why? And it goes on saying, and she said, can't you all get my baby out the car? She was screaming, that's my baby in the back seat. Well, bitch, how in the fuck can somebody get the baby out the car when you killed the fucking baby? You rammed the fucking car. You rammed into this motherfucker's, you rammed into the motherfucking car, trying to kill the father, and you intentionally did it on purpose, and you end up killing your own child. So how the fuck? You weren't thinking twice about that shit, you dumb bitch. You dumb bitch. And she told Reagan that bystanders rushed to the wrecked car to try and rescue the father and baby inside. It says, everyone tried to get the people out the car because the car started smoking. And within minutes, firefighters arrived with the jaws of life and pried open the wreckage. They pulled out the father and baby, what's her name, Calandra Henderson, who later died at the hospital. The question is why? Police have not discussed a possible motive for the mother's action. It's sad, it's heartbreaking, it wasn't worth it at all, Jones said. The father remains in stable condition. That's what we're trying to figure out. Why? Why would you cause a scene? Bitch, you can't sit down and talk your issues out with your husband? This man's supposed to be your fucking husband, bitch. Bitch, you couldn't settle it in the courtroom? Bitch, you had to cause a fucking scene. And I'm saying the word bitch, and I have the right to say that. Because that's what else can I describe? I can't say she's a good citizen. I can't say she's a lawful citizen. Only thing I can say, she's a dumb bitch. And the dumb bitch needs to be locked away, and the keys need to be thrown away. And just for that shit, bitch, you need to be dealing with capital punishment. Because you killed the fucking 3-month-old child. You do not need to get out and be in society. Now this father ain't no telling what's going on with the dad. He might be paralyzed because of your dumb ass. See, here's the thing. It doesn't say what the race of the parents are. Okay, so just by the name alone, I'm assuming they are African Americans. But I'm gonna say this: if this happened to be the black woman that did this dumb shit, more than likely it is. More than likely, at some point in time, you can't keep on having pity for certain individuals that don't have any sympathy for others. You can't continue on having pity for certain individuals that don't have sympathies for others. This mother or this woman, she was selfish. She didn't give a fuck. She didn't think about the livelihood of her child. She didn't think about the consequences of her action because she was too busy trying to seek revenge on the father. See, and I'm finna strike a nerve here. I really am. I'm going to strike a nerve. I've noticed that it's more common with women to do conniving shit to the parent than it is for the fathers to do conniving things to the mother. I know it's very common. Because you don't hear very often how the fathers do a lot of conniving things to the mothers, right? You don't hear much about the fathers putting the mothers on child support for no apparent reason. You don't hear much about the father going in smashing the mother's windows out. You don't hear much about that. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's not very common that you hear a man going and smash his baby mama's windows out, or slashing out her tires, or putting her on child support, or trying to get another woman to fight her for no apparent reason. But you will hear that women, majority of the time, would do this type of conniving things. Either put him on child support, either trying to slash out his tires, trying to get him shot, trying to get his ass beat up, trying to use his social security number. Doing things like that, it's ridiculous. What point are you trying to get across? Exactly what point are you trying to get across? And then you want to know why the father don't want to be around his kids. It ain't that he doesn't love his kids, but just sometimes it's because the mother makes it difficult for the father to build a relationship with his children. And we have to be honest about that. I hear this so much often coming from women than I do with men. And it breaks my heart that a lot of these men can't really spend time with their children like they want to because the mother got so much anger. The mother can't even get past or what went on in the relationship. So she tries to do something to get back at the father, even if that means to take the life of an innocent child, to intentionally hurt him. What's your point? What point are you trying to prove? Because now you make yourself look like a dumbass. You put yourself in that fucked up predicament. What point are you proving? Why can't you just not be a mature adult and sit down and have conversation? Why can't you not sit down and talk it out? Why do you gotta do dumb shit? Well, how are you trying to prove a damn point? How are you trying to prove a point? What are you trying to get across? Because what you're doing is you're tearing up your family. When you do things like that, you're making the family dynamic worse. And then as children, we tend to sympathize with our mother so much because we feel sorry for her. And we don't pay attention to the father. And we try to make daddy look like the bad guy. When it wasn't always the case that daddy wasn't the bad guy, it was mama. Because mama had anger issue. Mama couldn't get past what she was going through. So you got to look at both sides, okay? You can't just blame the men for not being there for their children or for just leaving the family. You got to also blame these women for their damages in the family too. You got to blame these women for their destructive behavior and how they get their children involved in some shit they don't need to be involved in. Or how they use their children against the father. What point are you trying to prove? Because you think that you hurting the father when you really hurting the child. You think you really hurting the father when you more than likely hurting your child. And you don't, and then you want to know why shit don't go well for you. Why nobody want to tolerate you. Why nobody want to be in a relationship with you. Why? Why should they? Oh, but you gotta understand, see, the black woman, she a god, she the queen. Stop that shit. Every black woman ain't no fucking god. Every black woman ain't no fucking queen. Just like every black man ain't no fucking god and every black man ain't no fucking king. You got some shitty ass motherfuckers in our community. You got some discombobulated ass people in our community. And they gotta be called out. They gotta be called out. Period. You got some shitty ass motherfuckers. If you don't point out the shittiness that's taking place, then you the damn problem. Because you ain't doing it no good just by creating this false positivity. As a matter of fact, speaking of false positivity, let's look up what false positivity is while we on this subject. Or what they call toxic positivity. That's what it's called, toxic positivity. Okay, so let's look it up. Here we go, right here. Okay. So let's look up the word toxic positivity. What is that? Toxic positivity, the overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state that results in the denial, minimization, and invalidation of the authentic human emotional experience. Okay? We define toxic positivity as the excessive and ineffective overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state across all situations. The process of toxic positivity results in the denial, minimization, and invalidation of the authentic human emotional experience. And that's the case, what's going on within our community. You got that, it creates the double standard because why? You got too much denial going on. You got too many people denying the shit. And they fail to look at that because they deal with this toxic positivity. Or what we call false positivity. Well, see, you gotta understand our queens. You gotta understand this. You gotta be able to say no. You got to be able to show some emotions where there's a form of disapproval of individuals' behavior. You got to be able to show disapproval. You can't always just look at the things in the positive light, because everything ain't always going to be meant to be in a positive light. Everything ain't meant to be in a positive light. You gonna have negativity, and you gotta see that there is negativity going on, and you gotta recognize the negativity that's taking place. And if you ignore that negativity, just focus on the positivity, then you ain't making shit any better. You ain't. And let's go down here where it says signs of toxic positivity. Below are some common expressions and experience of toxic positivity to help you recognize how it shows up in everyday life. Hiding and masking your true feelings. Trying to just get on with it by stuffing and dismissing in emotions. Feeling guilty for feeling what you feel. Minimizing other people's experience with feel good quotes or statements. Trying to give someone perspective, it could be worse, instead of validating their emotional experience. Shaming or chastising others for expressing frustration or anything other than positivity. That's very common. Number 6 is very common. Shaming or chastising others for expressing frustration or anything other than positivity. And that's what you get. You got people who would try to shame you for showing that you frustrated about something, or showing your anger side, or showing that you are displeased about something. You got people that say, well, you know what, you shouldn't be like that. You got to be positive. No, you ain't got to always be positive about everything. You ain't got to always be positive about everything. So you ain't got no place to tell somebody they wrong for being frustrated or expressing their anger about something that is very displeasing to them. You can't do that. And 7, brushing off things that are bothering you with a it is what it is. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm guilty of that. Number 7, brushing off things that are bothering you with a it is what it is, because that's how I am. I typically just say, okay, well, it is what it is, it's whatever, right? And knowing that it can bother me, but I try to just put a shield on it and not allow it to show. And that itself can deteriorate your health. It can really deteriorate your health, and it's not good to just always hold in what's bothering you. So sometimes you have to let it out. You have to express it. But then also it has to be a lesson learned behind that too. It has to be something that you can learn from, that you can be able to grow from a situation. Not something that's just going to set you back, but you got to be able to grow from it too. And then listen to this. It says, why toxic positivity is bad for our health. I'd rather be whole than being good, by Carl Jung. Check this out. To force a positive outlook on pain is to encourage a person to keep silence about their struggles. Most of us don't want to be seen as a drag or bad. So when the choice is between A, be brave or honest, or B, pretend like everything is going great, we might be tempted to adopt the latter. Author and researcher Brené Brown teaches in several of her books, presentation, and interviews that the energy source of shame is silence, secrecy, and judgment. In other words, where there is hiding, secrets, and denial, shame is usually in the driver's seat. Check this out. Shame is crippling to the human spirit and one of the most uncomfortable feelings we can feel. Often we don't even know that we are feeling shame. Here's a clue on how to know how to know is there. Ask yourself, if they knew blank about me, what would they think? Or something I wouldn't want the world to know about me is blank. If you can fill that blank with anything, whether it be a situation, a feeling, or experience, there is a high likelihood that there is something shame around that. And then let's talk about the suppressed emotions. Several psychological studies show us that hiding or denying feelings leads to more stress on the body or increased difficulty avoiding the distressing thoughts and feelings. See, here, and here. Denying your feelings, denying your emotions, or denying your thoughts, right, can increase stress on the body. Now, check this out. It says it is important to acknowledge the reality of our emotions by verbalizing them and moving them out of our bodies. This is what keeps us sane, healthy, and relieves us of the tensions caused by suppressing the truth. Once we honor our feelings, we embrace all of ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and accepting ourselves just as we are is the path to a robust emotional life. So if you walk around here thinking that everything about you is 100% positive, you're lying to yourself. If you walking around here thinking that everything about your environment is 100% positive, you're lying to yourself. Sometimes you have to be blatantly honest about yourself, about your environment, about what you witness. And see, nobody likes a person that's very blunt about things because they want people to accommodate their emotions and try to oversee the negative things. But you can't do that. You have to look at both sides. You can't oversee negativity. You can't oversee positivity. You have to balance it because that's the kind of world that we living in. That's based on polarities of positive and negatives. We can't always sugarcoat shit. You can't do it. So, anyways, you guys, with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I appreciate you guys for watching. And if you're watching from my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are watching from Facebook, make sure you go ahead and share this video on Facebook. If you like what you see, as a matter of fact, if you like the things that I post up and you want to support what I'm doing, you go ahead and get to that Cash App, that $tip world, Cash App, $tip world. So if you like what I'm doing and you think that I'm doing a good job, or if you just want to, give a little tip, what I'm saying, or something like that, then you go ahead and do so. It's right there. That's the Cash App. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful evening. All right. And be safe. And I will talk to you guys in the morning. And I will be dealing with the Black history, daily Black history. So be on the lookout for it in the morning time. Until then, next time, may peace and power elevation be to all of you. And thank you for tuning in, and be safe. And we'll reconnect. All right. Deuces.